Howdy y'all, thank you for joining me today for this unboxing of Marvel Champions the card game expansion hero pack Angel. This is a deck that does not come out until the 22nd. It's actually coming out next Friday the 22nd, along with the Psylocke deck, which we just now did an unboxing of if you want to check that one out. And now I'm unboxing this Angel deck. So what these are is this is an expansion to the game, but what it is it's a pre-built deck expansion. So it lets us know here on the back that it is a pre-built deck and that this deck is ready to go. That way, if you're someone who doesn't own the game and you have friends who play it and this is a character you like, you can just go buy this deck and it's pre-built and ready to go. And it even lets us know here on the back that this is an expansion and that it's got his nemesis in there, who is Harpoon, who's one of the Marauders. And this deck's ready to go. Before I open this, I usually make a guess. If you're new, there's 4 aspects they can be built into. I mean, they just done adjust this. I mean, I can see him as a I want to say protection. Right off the bat, I want to say protection. But we haven't seen an aggression deck for a bit. But I don't think it's going to be aggression. I think it's going to be protection. I don't see him as leadership. And they just done so many justice already. I see Angel as protection anyways, which is cool. Is one of the aspects I like to play. So we will see what that gets. Without much ado, let's get into this. Just to let you know, there is a sticker here that's usually to let you know if your product's been tampered with. I've already pre-cut that though, but just to give you the heads up. But if you're not sure, you can just pop this open. And you should have a pack of sealed cards in there, which is your deck, and some extra stuff. And then also, I've seen people throw this away, so I always let them know you want to look under this flap and pull this out. And then the rest of the packaging is just up to you. You can carry your deck around if you don't sleeve it and whatnot. And all this is this is typically just a poster, as you can see here because I'm zoomed in, of this art. And then, as we see here, it's got the, sorry, that just threw me off right now. I should have thought of that. I'm surprised they went back to this, and I'll talk about that here in a second. But, so this is just going to have the rules and let you know we're going to see the player side schemes again, which is something they're doing with the Next Evolution stuff, which is cool. I do like it. I worry we'll only see it with this Next Evolution stuff and not see some stuff later. I'm sure we will see some stuff later, just probably not as prevalent. But the interesting thing that stuck out to me here is the foldable cards, which we haven't seen since Ant-Man and Wasp, which Ant-Man is one of my main decks. He is my main deck. Maybe Gamora, but yeah, he's my main deck. And there were so many complaints about the foldable cards that I'm surprised they went back to it. I like it. It's just, I'm always worried I'm going to wear out that folding. So, and I mean, I know there's ways around it to where you don't have to, but. And then underneath this, it's going to show us what aspect he is. Like I said, I predict protection. Let's see here. It does say he is a protection aspect, so cool. And this just gives you some info about how the deck should work and whatnot. Give you some ideas, but I like playing them without that and just trying to see if I can figure it out. Without much ado, let's get into the deck. No more jibber jabber. Alright. And I will kind of go through these cards and talk about them. Not go into great detail, just give my thoughts on them as we're hitting them and see what's up. Alright, so right off the bat here we have the hero card for Angel. His identity, hero. It is 2 thwart, 1 attack, 2 defense. So a little low on the attack side, but a thwarter. Angel of Life, Aerial X-Force. As a response, after you play an aerial event, draw 1 card. So already, I mean, I like these response ability triggers that happen a lot. I still don't know how I feel about this one. I like the ones, well, I mean, Gamora. I just said, I mean, it makes sense. My 2 main decks are Gamora and Ant-Man, and they're all about responses, so. But we do see a hand size of 5, which is typical for hero. But a hit point's 12, so he's got a few extra hit points more than a normal hero. So, or than a normal identity, so pretty cool. And it said foldable, so this card's probably going to be foldable. So we'll look at his alter ego side here. It's Warren Worthington III, 3 recovery. He's a mutant, regrowth, action, heal 1 damage from Warren Worthington III. So you don't have to exhaust him, you can just, as an action, heal him. So, pretty cool. Hand size 6, which is typical. Alright. And if you're new to the foldables, which is with Ant-Man and Wasp, what it is normally you can switch between alter ego to hero form, or from hero form to alter ego. With these foldables, they have another form. So you can go from alter ego to hero, hero to alter ego, or alter ego to the other hero, or hero to the other. That makes sense. Hey, I was just saying I was surprised I didn't see Archangel. And this makes sense. You can switch from... I was like, I'm surprised they didn't go with the Archangel. He's more popular. I like Angel, but I'm surprised because a lot of people are very big on Archangel, and especially with the X-Force and stuff. And that's why. The foldable card. I should have thought about it. I just didn't think about it because it's not a foldable card. And I didn't know if they'd do that again. But anyways, 0 thwart, 2 attacks. So this is attacking. And a defense. Which makes sense that he attacks and doesn't really thwart as Archangel. And aerial X-Force. And he has... Oh, but while you're in this form, you're accelerating the scheme more. Which means you're going to have to go back to this and really thwart that scheme. Angel of Death, as a response after you play an aerial event, deal damage to an enemy equal to that event's printed cost. That can get kind of nuts if you build him as aggression, I'm thinking. Because those aggressions are kind of expensive. Now, he has a hand size of 5, which is better than Ant-Man's, which is 4 when he's in his attack form, basically. And the hit points are going to stay the same. But pretty cool there. Just like, I don't know how I feel. Like, I'm always, when I open mine, they're always sitting like that. And I know some people, what they do is they just flatten it out and put it in a big sleeve or get a big top loader. And then when they're in this form, they're like that, which Ant-Man's is situated that way. But still, it's like that. And then when they have it on this side, they just have a sleeve or something that covers up which form they're not in. So, but cool. All right. So the next things we're going to see is there's 15 cards that are unique to that character. Or not unique to that character, but 15 cards that if you play with that, if you're building that deck, you have to have these in there. And it makes sense that we would see Psylocke here because of their relationship. But then also, if you saw my unboxing of Psylocke, we saw Angel as her ally also. So here we go. 3 cost, 3 hit points, 1 thwart, 1 attack with something special on the attack, which is as a hero response after Psylocke attacks. If you are Angel, you heal 1 damage from Psylocke. If you are Archangel, you ready your hero. So kind of playing off of, she basically is sonically playing off him, I guess. So interesting. I like it. Alright, next we have his Adaptive Plumage. It is a 3 cost event. Aerial attack thwart, hero action thwart. If you are Angel, remove 3 threat from a scheme and confuse an enemy. Hero action attack. If you are Archangel, deal 4 damage to an enemy and stun it. Got 2 of those. Aerial agility, 1 cost event. Hero interrupt defense. When an enemy attacks, if you are Angel, ignore each boost icon and each boost ability for this attack. As Archangel, give your hero a tough status card and gain retaliate 1 for this attack. I actually like that. I kind of don't like the ones that are just... I mean, I like the ones that ignore the boost. It's the boost ability ones I feel like they're just kind of meh. Well, this one lets you do both. So, I like that. Metamorphosis. 2 cost event. Action. Change form. Then if you are Warren Worthington III, draw 1 card. If you are Angel, remove 2 threat from a scheme. If you are Archangel, deal 3 damage to an enemy. I can already tell this is one I'm going to want to play. Because I like the idea of... I play very toolbox. And the way this goes through here... I'm pretty sure this is going to be one I'm going to want to play. Just the versatility of it. But it's just my play style. But there's Metamorphosis. And I guess I didn't know that about that. I ain't gonna lie, I liked Angel. I wasn't really a big Archangel fan. And I didn't really pay attention to much once he became Archangel. And I guess this makes sense. The reason I didn't think about it, I guess now in the comics, he must be able to switch between his Archangel and Angel. I'd heard something like that, but I thought that was just maybe something from another timeline or something. But that's pretty cool. All right. Like I said, I don't read up on the comics anymore. I stopped paying attention to him. I just didn't really like the Archangel. Either way, Natural Flight, 2-cost event, hero action thwart, remove 4 threat from a scheme. If you are Angel, this thwart ignores the crisis icon and the patrol keyword. We have Razor Dive here, 3-cost event. Hero action attack, deals 6 damage to an enemy. Some good damage. If you are Archangel, this attack gains overkill and piercing. Very nice. Avian Anatomy, a resource. After you spend this card to pay for an aerial event, which we noticed a lot of these said aerial on them. All of them did, actually. Return that event to your hand after resolving its effect. Wow. Especially with that Razor Dive. I like it. I like it a lot. Oh man, there's 2 of them. Worthington Industries, 1-cost support. Location action, exhaust Worthington Industries, shuffle 1 aerial card from your discard pile into your deck. If you are in alter ego form, draw a card. Yeah, I can already tell I'm going to like this character. Techno-Organic Wings, 3-cost upgrade. Hero action, exhaust Techno-Organic Wings. If you are Angel, ready your hero. If you are Archangel, reduce the cost of the next aerial event card you play from your hand this phase by 2. Cool. And that would be the 15 cards that you would have to play with no matter what aspect you're in. But we've already seen that he is going to be in protection. At least this deck is built to that. And we see here we have Elixir. 4-cost ally, 3 hit points, 1 thwart, 1 attack with something special on each of them. He is X-Force. Play only if your deity has the X-Force or X-Men trait. At least they threw that X-Men one in there. I didn't really like how the Spider ones just, you had to be a Web Warrior in order to play it, so it made a lot of allies not playable. This at least makes it to where they're more playable, but it's not as limiting. Or yeah, more playable and not as limiting, I should say. As a response, after Elixir attacks or thwarts, heal 1 damage from another friendly character. I like it. Oh, actually, yeah, I just realized they have not done Siren yet. Well, here we go. Siren. 4-cost ally, 3 hit points, 2 thwart, 2 attack. Aerial X-Force. Response, after Siren attacks, stun a minion. And I just love the flavor text there. Not about to do it, but yeah. Seems awesome. I actually like this ally. Warpath. 4-cost. 4 hit points. 2 thwart. 2 attack with 2 consequence stars on the thwart. Starts with toughness. So you can use that for a thwart if you want to, or to save him for a block. And then hero response, after Warpath defends against an attack, play an event with a hero action ability from your hand. Actually, there's a card, if you haven't seen it yet, that comes in the Psylocke deck, for the extras in the Psylocke deck, that I'm already thinking about with this card in mind. Now granted, he wouldn't be able to have that card, and you'll see why, but yeah, I'm already thinking of this card in mind with that. That's pretty cool. I like it. Oh, I think, no, it might not work. I'd have to go back and look at that card, but it might not work. But yeah, it just came first to mind, but I don't think it'll work. We'll see. Because I think it said when you defend, not when someone else defends. But still. All right. 0-cost event, aerial intervention. And this is why I was thinking protection, because I was thinking, man, the way he's able to fly, and that's his superpower, they're going to be doing a lot of these saving you or saving other people and stuff like that. So this is exactly why I thought protection. And yep, 0-cost event, interrupt. When a character would take any amount of damage from an attack, exhaust an aerial character you control, prevent up to 3 of that damage. Not really sold on that card because I don't like the one uses that do that, but Ever Vigilant, 2-cost event. Play only if your identity has the aerial trait. Ready your hero and remove 2 threat from the main scheme. Actually, I kind of like that. Because I think it's a 1-cost. If you have 14 hit points as a card that lets you ready your guy anyways, and it's a 1-cost. Well, this one you're paying 2 to do the same thing, but you get to remove 2 threat from the main scheme too. You just have to be aerial. I think I like this one. I like that card. Just got to make sure you're playing it with someone who has aerial. Alright, we got Taunt here. 1-cost event. Hero action. A villain attacks you. Other characters cannot defend against this attack. Draw 3 cards. Oh yeah, duh. We should have figured there was going to be a player side scheme in here because we got one here. 0 to put it into play. Victory just like the others. When defeated, each player heals a total of 5 damage from among characters they control. I like this one more than I do the other one. The other one, the one that came in the next evolution, in the Cable deck, which... if you watch that, you'll see why it's in there. But either way, yeah, it was cool. It gave toughness, but... and that's good. I ain't going to say it's bad. It gives toughness. That's cool. But I like this one a little bit more because you can spread this out amongst allies and stuff. So I like this one a lot. Angel's Eerie. 1-cost support. Response. After you defend against an attack, place 1 fatigue counter here. As an alter ego action, remove each fatigue counter from here. Heal 1 damage from your identity for each fatigue counter removed this way. So kind of like the Beat Cop, except this one's healing. I like it. It's just weird. I mean, I guess, yeah, it makes sense. You go hang out at his pad, but it's just weird that that's not in his deck and that you could throw this in someone else's deck. And there's no limits to it. As far as can't be played unless you're an X-Men or something like that. But it makes sense because everyone knows Warren Worthington, right? 1-cost upgrade. Attached to a permanent side scheme. Max 1 to a non-permanent side scheme, sorry. Max 1 per side scheme. As a response, after a hero defends against an attack, remove 1 threat from attached scheme. 2 threat instead if that hero took no damage from that attack. I mean, I guess it's a way for you to be able to thwart slowly if you know your character does a lot of defending, like with Cap or someone. Yeah, I guess I can see it. Alright. And I was wondering, I thought he'd be in the next evolution thing. I even had somebody at the shop ask about him. I was like, yeah, I think he'll be in here. But then again, they killed him off pretty early in the comics. So maybe that's why, but here he is. Knew he'd be here eventually. 3-cost. I actually expected him to be a deck, and then they, of course, announced Deadpool. I was like, oh, never mind. 3-cost ally here for basic, which means he's going to be in any deck. 2 hit points, 2 thwart, 2 attack, but he takes 2 consequence stars on each of those. So he's going to knock out, but he's eternal. So let's see what. Interrupt. When Cannonball would take any amount of consequential damage, reduce that amount by X, where X is the number of aerial cards in your hand. That could be really good with this deck. Because you just make sure to attack or thwart with him before you play your aerial cards out of your hand. Yeah, I like it. Okay. I dig it. And we saw this in the Psylocke deck, so we should have figured it was going to be in here. Soaring Hearts, 2-cost event. Team up. Angel and Psylocke. Search your discard pile for an identity-specific event and add it to your hand. Ready Angel and Psylocke. I like this more in this deck than in the Psylocke deck, but, I mean, always getting your identity stuff is always good, too. Oh, wow. What is this? Another resource, the Power of Flight. Okay. Double the number of resources this card generates while paying for an aerial card. Okay, I like it. Been trying to think of a reason to build a rogue deck. I mean, I would keep him in this deck for sure because he's got aerial. But, yeah. So 3 of those. Soaring Acrobatics, 2-cost upgrade, play only under any player's control, max 1 per player. Hero Interrupt, when an aerial character you control uses a basic power, exhaust Soaring Acrobatics, that character gets +1 to that power for this use. It's cool. I'd probably play with 1 of them in the deck. I don't know if I'd play with 3 of them, which is what's going to be in this. Alright, and that would be your deck. So you would just, if you're new to this, you would just put out your character, which, oh, yeah, I got him off to the side here. Sorry, I usually have him in the screen. And then you would shuffle up this deck, and that would be ready to go, good to go. Now, before you could start to play, you would have to hand this card to whoever's putting the game together. Because this has to be shuffled into the deck. It is his obligation, the Apocalyptic Influence. So yeah, definitely missed that. I should have figured. If I would have known that, I would have known if he'd been Archangel, but cool. Makes me feel even better about it. But yeah, so if this gets drawn by someone, it has to be given to you. If you're the one playing Warren Worthington, give it to Warren Worthington. When revealed, if you are in Archangel form, you place 2 threat on the main scheme. Otherwise, change to Archangel form. As an alter ego action, deal the first player 1 encounter card, then discard this card. And until you get rid of this, it's going to add an extra encounter card to the first player. Well, add an extra encounter card when they're dealt out. Eesh. So either way, an encounter card's happening. This is, much as I like that, that's a, wow. I mean, as much as I like this deck, that's a brutal obligation. And then the next 5 cards will be put off to the side unless Shadows of the Past gets hit or the Mysterio card. And I did find a 3rd one recently that, like I said, I'm playing a lot more now. Finally played my 100th game, which I know there's probably people out there who's played more of them, but finally got my 100th game knocked out the other day. But here we go. But those cards will say, go ahead and put this character into play, which means you would have to put your Nemesis into play, which would be Harpoon. Harpoon gets +1 attack while attacking a character with the aerial trait. He has 1 scheme, 1 attack, 6 hit points. When revealed, discard cards from the top of your deck until you discard an event. Take indirect damage equal to that event's printed cost. Ooh. Whew. Yep, gonna harpoon those wings. And then it will also tell you to put their side scheme into play, which is hook, line, and sinker. I'm gonna bag me a bird. Each attack from a brute enemy deals indirect damage, which he is a brute. But anyways, forced response after a friendly character takes any amount of indirect damage, exhausts that character. Yeah, you got to get this taken care of because there's some guys out there who do some major indirect damage. Like I'm thinking of Avalanche in mind, and then also I can't think of his name. Thor, one of Thor's guys. I just can't. Off the top of my head, I can't think of his name. But anyways, and then you're going to shuffle these next 3 cards into the deck when that Shadows of the Past comes up, which is Harpoon's Harpoon. It's going to give him +1 attack, attached to Harpoon. If Harpoon is not in play, search the encounter deck and discard pile for him, reveal him, and attach this card to him. If you cannot, this card gains Surge, which you have to do another card. So this is going to keep bringing him out. Ugh. Forced response after Harpoon attacks you, take 2 indirect damage, which we already saw. You got to make sure that side scheme is not in play. We got Spear Shot here, Treachery. When revealed, discard cards from the top of your deck until you discard an event. Take indirect damage equal to that card's printed cost. So exactly what Harpoon does already. If that event has the aerial trait, this card gains Surge. Oh, man. And then Boost, take 2 indirect damage. Man, his Nemesis, I mean, I ain't saying their Nemesis aren't, and he's got 2 of these. Ugh. I'm not saying that the Nemesis aren't a pain in the butt, but man, his Nemesis and his obligation, but I could see the potential, man. He could do some major damage, so I guess he has to have a downside to that. Alright, so yeah, so that'd be everything and let you know, hey, that's everything. It's the pre-built deck. Everything after this, I like it better when they had the extra encounter sets that you can mix in, but it did say on the back that this is going to have extra cards, not an extra encounter set. So in that aspect, and in that regards, what it means is there's going to be cards here. That way, if you want to build this deck into another aspect, it gives you cards that work with this deck if you already do have a lot of cards. Or it gives you other aspects to look at. That way, if you want to go trade for or get some of those other cards, this gives you some stuff to already help you get along that way. Or it is an expansion for people who already have everything. This just gives you some more cards. So, and then on the back of this, it even lets you know this is how you can rebuild this deck if you like the way it was built and you want to go back to the base. This is everything there. Cool. With that said, we're going to see cards from the other aspects here. And here's the aggression one. Bombs away, 2-cost event, aerial tactic, hero action, exhaust an aerial character you control and choose a player. Deal 3 damage to that villain, and each minion engaged with that player. Woo. 3 damage to each minion. Pretty good, but really only works with the aerial characters, so. But I'm thinking of Thor, Rogue, if you're going aggression with them. Alright. Eyes in the Sky, 0-cost upgrade. Justice, one of my playstyles, one of my other players' playstyles. Aerial preparation, hero interrupt. When you reveal a non-elite minion, exhaust an aerial character you control and discard this card. Cancel the effects of that card and discard it. Then reveal another card from the encounter deck. Let you get rid of a minion. I mean, non-elite, but unfortunately, got to be aerial. But only I don't like about that is what if you're playing against, because I always build my decks where I don't know what I'm going against. I like them to be very toolbox and ready to go, no matter who I'm going against. So my only issue with this is you have this in your deck and you run one of those decks where it has like 1 minion, maybe 2 minions. Well, I guess it's a resource then. I mean, it's 0 cost, so. Alright, Flying Formation, Leadership, one of my other playstyles. I like Leadership a lot. Flying Formation, 4-cost event. Alliance, the players can pay this card's cost as a group. Hero action, ready up to 3 aerial characters. So unless you have a lot of people who are aerial. I mean, I guess if you're playing with a leadership deck and you're making sure like all your allies are aerial, that could be kind of cool. Yeah. Like I said, and I know I said, man, my playstyle, protection. Really, my 2 playstyles are Justice and Leadership. I do not like playing aggression. I do like playing Justice about as much as I do Justice, or Justice and Protection, I should say, as much as I do Protection. It's just, to me, the protection's pretty limited, and I like the way Justice can do things. So I'd say if my main style is Leadership, and then secondly, Justice. But Flying Formation. 0-cost upgrade. X-Force Recruit. To make them X-Force. I like it. Play only if your identity has the X-Force trait. Attached to a friendly character, max 1 per character. We've seen these before. Attached character gets +1 hit point and gains the X-Force trait. And you get 3 of those. Well, cool. Well, if you had this your first time to watch one of my videos, just to let you know what I'm going to do now. Probably won't do it tonight because I just got these in. It's pretty late. But I'm going to try to get it knocked out here within the next few days. What I like to do is take these decks. When I get one of these hero decks, sleeve it up, shuffle it up, do not change it, and I like to put it up against normally one of the characters from the new campaign now, which would probably be either the Marauders, or I will put it up against, I've been thinking about Juggernaut. I'll probably take a look at Juggernaut. I haven't played against him yet. I just feel like he's just going to be another Rhino, which I'm kind of bored of fighting Rhino. Of course, Juggernaut should be way more interesting than Rhino, but it'll probably be one either Juggernaut or I'll do it against the Marauders, especially since I do need to get a game where I play against them and not mess it up like I did with, if you saw my other videos, I did mess it up real bad with one of them, and the other one I caught myself a little after. But either way, what I like to do, sleeve these up, and let you get a chance to see how this deck does unchanged against a villain in the game. That way, if you do not own everything and you just want to play this character, I just think this one's going to be pretty. I mean, let's hit that Shadows of the Past. This should just, man, especially if I don't do Juggernaut, this should just go off on them. But I could be wrong. I could be wrong about that. We'll see. Either way, this video has been long enough. My voice is probably going because I just did these back-to-back, Psylocke and Angel. And like I probably mentioned at the beginning just to make sure I did, these do not come out until the 22nd of September. They should be available at your LGS, but this gives you a chance to look at that and see if this is cards you want to add in. If you want, you can go back and look at the Psylocke deck. I did unbox that. And then, like I said, I will get these sleeved up and play them, and you can see how they play out. And we'll see if I'm right about how that does. I think that one's going to be pretty devastating. And I think I'm going to enjoy the Angel one more than the Psylocke. Just looking at it, it's just very toolbox. It's the way I like to play. But Psylocke being able to stun and confuse, well, go watch the video. You'll see all that. Either way, this has been long enough. I'll let you go. Thank you for watching, and have a great day.